his career's all but over at this point. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
what he deserves. I think the shit that I've heard that he did is he's fucking crazy. I'm gonna watch this movie though. I'm gonna see this fucking movie when it comes out. This is a long-running story, and that would have to do with Ezra Miller and The Flash. I have avoided talking about this shit as much as I possibly could because it's like you talk about it and then new stuff comes out the next, a few days later. This guy's fucking insane. I'm not gonna go into all the shit he's done, but he's crazy. He's been referred to as a menace, even getting arrested in other countries or in not other countries, other technically states with Hawaii, and just doing all kinds of crazy in other countries too, like Russia. I think he like
Australia
choked somebody out. Yeah, in Australia, and he's just doing crazy shit all over the place. The guy's lost his mind. He's got like a supposedly a cult. He's got a farm where they're growing weed and got babies gargling bullets and all kinds of crazy stuff. And people have been, especially with this new shakeup with Discovery and Warner Brothers, canceling movies left and right. People are like, what about The Flash? Why aren't you canceling that? Apparently, they say we've seen The Flash. The Flash movie is actually good. That's why we're not going to. Plus, it cost over $200 million fucking dollars to make. And they recently said that there were reshoots that took place over the summer that he was involved in while he was doing all this crazy shit. So they're still putting money into The Flash. They're going to release that movie, I think. I mean, it would take a lot not to. But this story is about, could they actually cancel the Flash movie? Because that question, while it's been out there from Warner Brothers, they've given a three-pronged answer that says, yeah, that it's not totally out of the cards. They don't want to do it clearly, but they said that essentially, and this is coming from Warner Brothers themselves. Now, some of this is supposedly. This is from trusted leaks or trusted sources, not mine. I got this shit from a news article, but they say that Warner Brothers, they have three outcomes that they see. They currently weigh three scenarios regarding Miller and The Flash. The first sees Miller seek professional help after they return home. They keep saying they, and that he goes by the whole they them thing. I'm not getting into that. So if I refer to him as him, get over it, is what it is. And especially as crazy as he's been acting, I don't really give a shit what his wants and needs are. But after they return to their home in Vermont, they get professional help. If treatment goes well for Miller, they'll give an interview that explains their recent strange behavior. Then they will also do limited press for The Flash, and the movie releases in theaters next summer as planned. The second outcome, slightly more severe scenario, Miller doesn't seek treatment, but Warner Brothers still releases The Flash. Miller would have a minimal role in marketing for the film, maybe even none at all. He would also no longer be The Flash in future DCEU movies, with the part recast for future projects, which I think that's probably happening anyway. I don't see him being The Flash anymore.
Yeah.
And the third possibility is that Miller's behavior deteriorates even further, which is the direction it's going right now, and Warner Brothers kills The Flash entirely. Me, myself, personally, I don't see them killing this $200+ million movie that they've put so much time, effort, and money into, and of course, people talk about all the other people that had something to do with it. I see them releasing this movie one way or another. People have said, oh, deepfake him out of it. He's apparently in so much of it that it's virtually impossible to do that. You might as well reshoot the whole thing. I don't see him doing that. I see him keeping it, trying to save as much face as, worst case scenario, they're going to save as much face as possible with this guy, not have him included in it at all, release the damn movie, maybe put a warning out in the beginning saying, hey, we don't condone this guy. This is all done before that, but, do it for this. We're doing this for all the other people that were involved in making the movie. We don't want to ruin their day because it's one asshole. I think we're going to see this movie next summer. In some way, somehow, it is going to come out. They're not going to cancel it. Well, I don't think they're going to cancel it outright like Batman. What do you guys think about that?
It's such a... Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I'll put it this way. They release it. I'm not watching it. Fuck Ezra Miller. I'm sorry that everybody involved has spent all this time and effort, but obviously they're more worried about the money situation than they are about the simple fact that this guy was hiding a family. They can't find the family. The kid was chewing on a piece of bullet. The fact that he has assaulted people. We talked about Bad Girl and like the bad press, or the bad whatever it was, and they canceled it. But no, we spent $200 fucking million and we're gonna be all right instead of doing a tax write-off and just saying fuck the movie. I feel bad for Michael Keaton actually, but in the real run, I'm not supporting this movie. If they release this movie, I will not watch it. It'll be the first time I don't watch a superhero movie because I don't want to support a guy who's literally unless he has like a serious mental problem that he gets like corrected. I'm not supporting it. I don't have any interest in this movie. So
I guess that's the other question. Oh, and on a side note, and Driv, I don't want to cut you off, but
it's all good.
People are saying that because they've done test audience or testings of the movie. People are saying the movie's good, and I get what you're saying. Even if it's good, you're not going to see it, and that that's fine. I get that. I totally understand that. But they are saying just to put it out there as compared to Batgirl, they were saying Batgirl was not good. That movie was just unsalvageable. It wasn't a good movie. They're saying that this movie is actually really good, and people are saying he's actually not bad in it either. Like the movie is good, just in comparison to Batgirl, because Batgirl was canceled because it didn't look good, it wasn't a good movie, it was just bad all around, and that's why they supposedly took a hit on that. But this one, yeah, they spent a lot of money on it as a business. I get that. He's a fucking nut and a wild card, but they are saying that the movie is actually good. Now, do you think, and Triv, I want to get all your comments on this as well, but just based on what you said, Nick, do you think, given your stance right now, if he did go with, say, their first scenario, he got help, and he came out and genuinely was like, guys, I kind of lost my mind for a while. I had some issues, and who knows what it is. I don't know, and if it's true or not, but say he was like, I'm getting help, I'm sorry, and he just did like all these apologies and all that. Yeah, that doesn't wipe the slate clean, but would that change your mind on it? If he came out and did something like that, and it seemed genuine, it didn't seem like bullshit, at least to a degree, would you change your mind on that? Would you be more willing to see the movie then, or are you just like, no, I'm fuck this shit altogether?
The guy needs to give me 2 to 3 years of honest forgiveness and all that stuff before I even consider him in anything. So to answer your question in the long way around, no, I'm not seeing the Flash next year. I don't care if he comes out, because he could come out, they could hire the lawyers to help him out and stuff like that, but he's got to prove that he is actually better. Look at Robert Downey Jr. That guy went on a hell of a drug bender, and he turned it around after a few years doing Iron Man and coming clean and all that stuff. And at first I'm like, when I first heard Robbie Downey Jr. was doing Iron Man, I'm like, fuck this guy, I'm not gonna watch it. But the Flash, Ezra Miller seems like an individual that you get him to do something and it won't seem genuine, even if it does feel like it's genuine. I just, that whole situation with the family really pisses me off. So I'm not supporting the Flash. But if he turns it around and he gives it a couple years and just kind of fixes his problems, then maybe. But no,
I hear you, and that's understandable. I get that. Me myself, I think Ezra Miller's a fucking nut. He's a menace. He needs to just, his career's all but over at this point. I mean, and that's what he deserves. I think the shit that I've heard that he did he's fucking crazy. I'm gonna watch this movie though. I'm gonna see this fucking movie when it comes out. I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll bootleg it or something. I don't really want to support him, but I can't. I try not to get involved in drama and stuff, but this is so fucking juicy. I have to see what the fuck is going on with this shit, or I might I probably won't be able to see it before other people, and we'll hear some reactions. I want to hear what people have to say about it first, and then maybe I'll check it out. But yeah, I'll definitely see this movie. But I get where you're coming from. I mean, I respect it. That's all good. What about you, Triv?
It's such a damn minefield regardless. And everything with the Discovery Warner Brothers thing is just, I think it both brought it to a head and kind of just, shotgunned it, just shit everywhere, basically, it's, there's no right answer when it comes down to it. And regardless of how it ends up, Warner Brothers either loses $200 million or they put it out and they, deal with all kinds of bad press. They're going to have that regardless, just because of they have a time bomb on their hands. And but the way that they've gone about, like, oh, you know, it was just a joke when he slapped the lady initially, but then it's like, okay, that's forgivable. But then all of a sudden it's like, boom, thing after thing after thing. And how do you, I don't know, like, all three options. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just because I don't want to forget because my mind's crazy. Do you guys think he does have, I mean, do you think he's just a dick? Or do you guys think he actually does have some type of, is he just some dickhead who has thinks he's bigger than he really is, and, you know, the law doesn't apply to him? Or he truly does have like some type of, he has had like a mental breakdown, like he's just lost his shit. I mean, what's going on with this guy?
He definitely has something wrong with him that Hollywood caused. Maybe he was always like that in Hollywood. You know, we've seen it time and time again where Hollywood pushes people into like really crazy, strange territory, and unfortunately, I think that's what's happened to him. I always appreciate when somebody comes back from a serious issue because, you know, it feels like they've really changed. But, you know, something like this, when it goes on and on and on, and Warner Brothers is like, you know what, we'll sweep this under the rug because we have $200 million sitting around. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh. I don't know with Ezra Miller, but I think there's something truly off about him. That there's something, either a brain situation in his head where he either took too many drugs, or he just has always had it and it finally came out because he has a successful career. I don't know, but it's something. I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to explain it. But
how successful is he really? I really feel like he's more known for being a fucking nut job at this point.
Well, before that, he had
career.
Yeah, you know, before that he had the Fantastic Beast movies. He had this. There was some other series he was in, wasn't he? Besides Perks of a Wallflower.
Oh yeah, Justice League.
Yeah,
but, I mean, but still, even then, I mean, those movies, the Fantastic Beast movies are popular, but I don't really think Ezra Miller when I think about him. Granted, I haven't seen all of them.
But he was still in them. He can still, like, you know, if you look down like his credits of movies, you're still gonna see those in there. Like, not that it's like that guy that shows up in every movie, like the guy that played the Doc on Scrubs. Like, he was in everything, you know, any movie in the 90s he showed up in. What the hell's his name? The guy that, you know, like the sassy doctor.
I know which guy you're talking about. But I mean, Ezra Miller's not like that big. I mean, he's doing like Kanye West crazy shit. But Kanye West is at least like really famous, like really popular. He can be crazy, and you understand. I mean, I don't understand why it's crazy, but I mean, I get that. Hey, you can do crazy. You're famous as hell. Ezra Miller is the fucking Flash, and now he's just a fucking nut. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think people get that in their heads, like it's a double-sided thing. On one side, he was in the Justice League, you know, he was one of those guys, and all of the press that got, you know, it brings up the Snyder Cut and everything else. And I mean, if you looked up yourself on Twitter or wherever and was like, hey, you know, the movie I was in is trending, that means that I'm trending and all that stuff. I think that does play in too, though. Like, if your ego is such, if you're a narcissist or whatever he's got going, if he is a dick or if it's mental, I think that does like play to your ego because you are in an echo chamber of that stuff.
Well, I know we didn't get to it a moment ago, to cut you off, sorry, but do you plan on, do you have any interest in seeing this movie? Do you think you're going to see it, or are you in Nick's camp where you're like, nope, refuse?
See, that's the thing. I love the Flash. Like, of DC, he's probably, at least by like the old cartoons and all that stuff, like, he was my go-to guy. If I'm gonna watch any DC hero, it's gonna be him. So I do have.
Sorry to cut you off again, but that's another reason I feel like this movie has not been canceled. And yes, the money. I'm with you, Nick. The money is definitely that is the be-all end-all. But that's another reason I feel like the Flash is still a thing and Batgirl's not, because Batgirl's Batgirl and the Flash is the Flash, and those are two different levels at this point in time. Yeah. His character is very much, like, much more popular than Batgirl. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, and even if you, from that perspective, you look at like Iron Man, he was, you know, third-rate superhero until, you know, the Marvel movies. Now he's like the one that's known above everything else.
And maybe Batgirl would become that, but she didn't. What was that, Nick?
No, I'll give you one even better. Flashpoint Paradox animated DC movie, one of my favorite animated movies of all time. The
That's
New
great.
52 when the New 52 when they rebooted it on top of Aquaman, The Flash was my favorite comic series. And we have Michael Keaton. This is like the second Michael Keaton property where he's playing Bruce Wayne Batman again, and it's either canceled or I just don't want to see it, and that pisses me off because Michael Keaton is probably one of my 5 favorite actors of all time. And I love The Flash. The Flash is, especially when The Flash, the TV series, came out in CW, when it was like the first couple of years, it was top tier television. I was looking forward to it every week. And here I was really excited for this. You know, they're going to do the Flashpoint Paradox, or, you know, Ezra Miller was pretty decent in the Justice League or BVS or whatever he was in. And I don't know. It's hard to want to root for a movie that not even the higher up CEO people. It's not even about the Flash at this point. Like I would say the same thing if it were any Marvel movie. I mean, I think we may talk about later on with something which I won't spoil, but when you start doing shit that just kind of ruins and taints the whole idea of what the series is or what the movie or show is, it's just all you're doing is hurting the people, the hundreds upon thousands of people who worked on the film, because you can't get your shit under control. And like I said, it may be a psychological problem, but you know, I'm just thinking of all the people from Andy Muschietti, who directed the film, who is like an upward swing career, and he's having to deal with the fact that his film could, as you said, on the 3 possibilities, could get canceled. And that's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you had to go through this shit, but this is, you know, it's one of those things where,
Well, even if it gets released, it's gonna have this. It's gonna have Ezra
yeah, it's
Miller
not gonna do
Oh,
this.
yeah.
stigma around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and people
Well, what
forgive.
was-
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, what was I had heard some people and this goes back to one of Jake's points, but trying to do what they did with Kevin Spacey and what was it? Not The Color of Money, all the money
In the world.
Yeah, with Chris
Christopher
Plummer and
Plummer.
such, and Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan. Yeah, I mean they couldn't do that because of the level of character that he is, and like you say, they've spent so much money. It's like people are like, oh well, they need to get rid of it. They need to do this. They need to do that, and there's no thought given to what it would take to redo it if they tried to go that route.
Yeah, that has been, like I said, that's been thrown out there a lot, but apparently, because he plays multiple characters in it and he is in virtually every single scene, it would be, at that point, you might as well just make a whole nother movie, and at that point, just cancel it.
Yeah.
So
And it would be like the replacing Christopher Plummer is like when they had to replace his father as the Barry Allen's father in The Flash, because I think I can't remember who's playing his father. He's a staple of
Jeffrey
Zack
Dean
Snyder.
Morgan?
He played. What's that?
Jeffrey
no,
Dean
well,
Morgan?
no.
the guy who played Jesus plays his dad in the original one.
Yeah. No, what I was saying was they had to replace him because of scheduling conflicts with something. But anyways, that's the kind of stuff that, you know, you can replace pretty easily. But when you have a main character who, like Jacob says, is in every single shot, you might as well just burn the shit to the ground and fucking restart it and just kind of hope for the best, because you ain't gonna there's no way you're gonna replace all that shit.
Now, I
As
mean,
hard
they
as you can
did
try.
replace, like in, what was the Zack Snyder movie about the zombies? The newer one, Army of the
Oh,
Dead.
Oh yeah, but that
Yeah.
was that's when Tig Notaro was brought in to replace whatever that douchebag did or whatever. But that's
Yeah.
a whole different thing. Like, you can't replace Barry Allen. It's really difficult.
No,
they could,
but I mean,
it would
I ain't
just
gonna lie,
take
that
300 million.
when they put her in that movie, I couldn't tell. I didn't even realize
Yeah, no.
until after the
Yeah.
movie came out they'd done that. But anyway, Triv, did you tell us whether you're gonna?
Well,
Are you gonna see the Flash?
Sorry, I'm
probably
hijacking.
I probably won't. God, I really, like I say, I really love the Flash. It's exciting to see him out and about finally, but given all this, if I do, I'll probably wait until it's on streaming to catch it, which I'm a big, like, movies like that are made for the big screen, but I don't think I can see it in theaters. I'll still see it, but just not in theaters where I can control it a little more.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Nick said no. Movie Emporium, no Flash review.
No, sir, I don't like
No
it.
soup for you, or no Flash for you.
Triv said no, not early Flash review. Maybe later on streaming. But over here on my channel, I'm going to review the shit out of that because I'm seeing that motherfucker.
Go for it.
No shame. Yeah, but I think the guy's a fucking nut, man. He needs to be the fuck out of here. But I can't help it. I want to see this shit. I want to see it more now with all this shit. And that's terrible. It's the same thing as a Batgirl. Batgirl, I had no interest. I would have seen it, but I had no personal interest in seeing that movie. Now that it's been canceled and all this crazy shit going on with it, I'm like, now I want to see it. Now I have an interest in seeing it. I want to see how bad it was.
Well, you know, one more thing before I stop talking because I'm hijacking this segment. You know what they could do? You know what they could do, Jacob? And this is my honest opinion. Not really honest opinion, joking opinion. Just replace every scene with Ezra Miller with an explosion.
He has a point, ladies and gentlemen. You should do that. Explosion, save the day. All right, so yeah, Ezra Miller, crazy psycho. They might actually cancel his movie. I don't see it, but it's at least on the table. So let us know in the comments below what you guys think of that. Are you looking forward to the Flash movie? Would you go see this movie with any of these outcomes that could possibly happen? Or are you just like, fuck Ezra Miller and fuck this movie?
Hashtag flashbang explosions.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. But yeah, hashtag flashbang explosions. Absolutely, I love that. Get that started.